Politicians react to Donald Trump's Florida indictment. We're going to check in with the GOP. We're going to hear from the Senate, people like Hawley. We've got candidates running for the presidency like Ron, Tim Scott, and McCarthy and Gaetz, all reacting, including some of the lefties like Rachel Maddow and Schifty Schiff, all talking about the Trump indictment. And so let's start with the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. What did he say about this? Well, he posted this pretty quickly. 6:22 on June 8th. He says, "Today is a dark day for the United States of America. It is unconscionable for a president to indict the leading candidate opposing him. Joe Biden kept classified documents for decades. I and every American who believes in the rule of law stand with President Trump against this grave injustice. House Republicans will hold this brazen weaponization of power accountable." And we're watching all of the conservative so-called GOP Republicans, and we're keeping our eye on who is commenting and who is not commenting, and then who will only comment on very particular days and then fly out into the sunset, never to return again, because many Republicans have been very quiet on the weaponization issue for a long time. Now they'll post a tweet. Now, Matt Gaetz has been on this for a while. Matt Gaetz says, "The phony box hoax indictment is an attempt to distract American public from the millions of dollars in bribes that the Biden crime family received from foreign nationals. This scheme won't succeed. President Trump will be back in the White House, and Joe Biden will be Hunter's cellmate." Yeah, I mean, if we're going to be prosecuting political opponents, why not include the Hunties? GOP candidates also commenting on this. Ron DeSantis posted this one over on Twitter. He said the following: "The weaponization of federal law enforcement represents a mortal threat to a free society." He says, "We have for years witnessed an uneven application of the law depending upon political affiliation. Why so zealous in pursuing Trump, yet so passive about Hillary or Hunter?" Says the DeSantis administration will bring accountability to the DOJ, excise political bias, and end weaponization once and for all. So Ron commented on it this time. I think one of the better tweets we saw came from Vivek, who's running. He said the following: "We can't have two tiers of justice. One for Trump, another for Biden. One for Assange, another for Manning. One for BLM and Antifa, another for peaceful protesters on January 6th. I never thought we'd see the day when the U.S. president deputizes the DOJ to arrest his lead rival in the middle of an election. Obama shamefully tried to deputize the FBI to infiltrate Trump's 2016 campaign, but they're leaving nothing to chance this time around. The federal police state is outright arresting Trump." He says this is an affront to every citizen. "We cannot devolve into a banana republic where the party in power uses police force to arrest its political opponents. It's hypothetical for the DOJ to selectively prosecute Trump, but not. It's hypocritical for the DOJ to selectively prosecute Trump, but not Biden." There are also serious legal questions about the president's power to declassify documents and the potential illegality of the overclassification of federal documents in the first place. But that's for the courts to decide. But we, the people, decide who governs the nation. It would be much easier for me to win this election if Trump weren't in the race, but I stand for principles over politics. I commit to pardon Trump promptly on January 20th, 2025, to restore the rule of law in our country. Boom! From Vivek. Nice comment. I think the absolute right answer. That is what the pardon power is for. It is an escape hatch to protect people who have been politically prosecuted in this country. That's what the founders put it in there for. And so it's an appropriate use of it. Tim Scott also weighed in on this. Here's what he said.
The one thing that makes America the city on the hill is confidence in our justice system. And today, what we see is a justice system where the scales are weighted. That seems to be the outcome of where we are today. As President of the United States, I would purge all of the injustices and impurities in our system so that every American can have confidence that they will be seen by the Lady of Justice with a blindfold on. That is what we need in this nation.
Tim Scott running for president, saying he was purging the Justice Department if he is in office. We also have senators who are weighing in. Senator J.D. Vance said the following. He said, "The former president will be indicted for mishandling," quote, "his own government's classified info." Came out of his government. Yet everyone, his government, right? Yet everyone agrees the president has the authority to declassify anything. This is a moral and constitutional joke. Merrick Garland has disgraced the country. Fact check on that one is true. Josh Hawley is now speaking out about this. He's been quiet about a lot of these issues for a while, but here he is.
Going back to, Senate leadership here. I mean, you cannot, as an office holder in the Republican Party, sit by, even if you can't stand Trump for policy reasons, personal, whatever it is. This is your moment to step forward and say, we can't allow this to continue to happen to our institutions, not to the Justice Department, the FBI, CIA, Intel. We can't continue this because you're right. Banana Republic. This is what Putin does. This is what Xi does. This is not what we do in our country. We have elections. Allow the election to take place. But Mitch McConnell, this is your moment, my friend.
Oh, he's not going to say anything. Mitch hates Trump.
I would just say that this is not about Donald Trump. Ultimately, this is about the United States of America. This is about whether the Constitution is still real in this country. This is about whether any American can expect the due process of law. And make no mistake, if Merrick Garland can send a SWAT team to the homes of pro-life Catholics to terrorize them, if he can call parents domestic terrorists, if he can jail or try to jail Biden's political opponents, he can do whatever he wants to any American. That is what this is about, and that's not what we're fighting for.
It's absolutely true. So Trump is the tip of the spear, and that's why so many people, I think, are finding it more probable to support him rather than to abandon him in the face of this indictment. Now, we have the typical reaction from people like Mitt Romney. Here's what he had to say. Romney writes, like all Americans, Mr. Trump is entitled to the presumption of innocence, although that has never happened for him. The government has the burden of proving its charges beyond a reasonable doubt and securing a unanimous verdict by a South Florida jury. Ah, gosh, what a terrible statement. He's a lawyer. By all appearances, the Justice Department and special counsel, here's Romney, have exercised due care. Whoa! Affording Mr. Trump the time and the opportunity to avoid charges that would generally not have been afforded to others. Romney says, Mr. Trump brought these charges upon himself by not only taking classified documents, but by refusing to simply return them when given numerous opportunities to do so. These allegations are serious and, if proven, would be consistent with other actions offensive to the national interest, like withholding defensive weapons from Ukraine for political reasons. So Romney gets his Ukraine statement in there. And failing to defend the Capitol from violent attack and insurrection. So Romney gets his Ukraine statement in there. Isn't that nice? Because I think they maybe run the country now, too. It's hard to tell. Rubio also weighed in on this. He said there is no limit to what these people will do to protect their power and destroy those who threaten it, even if it means ripping our country apart and shredding public faith in the institution that hold our republic together. So that's Rubio. Nice little statement there. We also have this one from the GOP. Elise Stefanik posted this. She said, here's our statement. The exact same day the FBI is forced to turn over to Congress absolutely damning and credible allegations regarding Joe Biden's illegal, egregious, and treasonous corruption, Joe Biden weaponizes his Department of Justice to indict Donald Trump. The American people are smart, and they understand this is the epitome of the illegal and unprecedented weaponization of the federal government against Joe Biden's leading opponent, Trump. The radical far left will stop at nothing to interfere with the 2024 election in order to prop up the catastrophic presidency and the desperate campaign of Joe Biden. She says, I am committed to ending the corrupt political weaponization of our federal government, cutting out the rot in these agencies, and holding government officials accountable for their endless illegal witch hunt against Trump. In 2024, we will vote like this country has never seen before, and we will elect President Trump back to the White House to save America. From Republican Conference Chair Elise Stefanik. Now, we've also got reaction from the Dems. What is all this about? Are they really concerned about classified documents? Are they really worried that somebody's going to come and steal one of Trump's notepads? No, they're not. They don't want him to win the presidency. And Rachel Maddow lets us all know.
You have to wonder if the Justice Department is considering whether there is some political solution to this criminal problem, whether part of the issue here is not just that Trump has committed crimes, but that Trump has committed crimes and plans on being back in the White House. Do they consider, as part of a potential plea offer, something that would proscribe him from running for office again? I don't know.
I would imagine if anything like that happened, that it would have to come from the defense side of the negotiation. That the Trump team would say, oh, by the way, and with this, we will also drop out of the race for president. Otherwise, it would put the Justice Department in this position that Donald Trump claims they're in. He claims they're trying to stop him from becoming president again, and that's the only reason they're doing this. My guess, given those dynamics and the change, I think, in the way the Justice Department sees this in those 50 years since Spiro Agnew, it just seems unlikely that they would reach into the political zone of the solution. Our politics does have to find a solution to this, but it might have to find that solution separate and apart from the criminal process.
Okay, my friend. So that is Rachel Maddow. And we also have Schifty Schiff, who also weighed in on this, explaining this to his audience.
Hi, Representative Adam Schiff here. Tonight, Donald Trump was indicted on federal charges. Let me see if I can break this down. We haven't seen the charges yet, but we understand, or it's being reported, that there are 7 charges against him. They likely involve his mishandling, his retention of classified information after leaving the presidency, and obstruction of the investigation, and that may be among the most serious charges. This is unprecedented. We've never had a former president charged like this, let alone someone who is the front runner in one of our 2 parties for the presidential nomination. We don't know how soon this will go to trial. It often takes months to get there. But this is a serious matter. It was serious in terms of the mishandling of classified information. Apparently, some of those documents were highly classified. When I was the chair of the Intelligence Committee, we were exceedingly careful not to bring any classified materials outside of that sensitive, compartmented facility where they're supposed to be kept. So it's a serious matter in its own right, obviously all the more serious that a former president is being charged. But here's the thing. The rule of law has to apply equally to everyone. If it doesn't, it's not a democracy. So this is an affirmation of our democracy, and yet our democracy will be put to the test. It already is, with Kevin McCarthy threatening to interfere, to use the power of the Congress to interfere in this prosecution. I'm going to be doing everything I can to resist that.
Pencil neck Adam Schiff explaining the charges. They're all very happy about this. Of course, exaggerating, becoming hyperbolic about what a catastrophe this is, when many people on their side have done much, much worse and not been prosecuted, because there are 2 tiers of justice in this country, and that is the GOP and others reacting to Donald Trump. Of course, we'll continue to cover. Thank you for subscribing and liking this video wherever it is you're watching it.